Welcome to the group exhibit Hydrogen, Fuel Cells and Batteries at the Hanover Fair 2017. We are here at the Technical Forum and my name is Muriel Buakas. I'm very much looking forward to our next presentation. It's from ITM Power regarding Big Hit, Europe's largest integrated hydrogen system. Please welcome with me on stage Dr. Kris, Hyde, Technology Manager of ITM Power.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kris Hyde. I'm the Technology Manager of ITM Power. We are a small company based in Sheffield in the UK. I'm here today to talk about one of the projects that we are working on. It's called Big Hit, and it's all about capturing curtailed energy from wind and tidal in the north of Scotland and doing something useful with that energy. So a little bit about ITM. We started in 2001. We are manufacturers of electrolyzers, but we also offer full turnkey solutions of anything hydrogen related. We floated in 2004. We've had investment of £7.5 million by JCB, the digger company. And we have interest in power to gas and fuels for vehicles. So this is just a quick summary of 2016 for us. Our orders are up 100%. Our number of staff is staying flat. We've hit the EU's long-run cost targets for 2020 for €1 million per megawatt of power for electrolysis. We've had our first hydrogen refueling station that's based on a Shell forecourt. We've opened 4 hydrogen refueling stations last year. We've had the UK's first power-to-gas plant project, and we've got fuel contracts with Toyota, Hyundai, and a number of other major companies. So yeah, last year was a good year for us. So a little bit of background. The Orkney Islands are in the north of Scotland. Showing the image. They have an awful lot of renewable resource, both in terms of tidal and wind. However, they have very low capacity cables for exporting that energy back to the UK mainland. As a consequence, they have an awful lot of curtailment. We have wind turbines with up to 50% of its energy is curtailed off. The graph here, this is an output from a wind turbine every month through 2015. Everything above the line is what they were able to export. Everything below the line is the energy that was curtailed off. As you can see, some months they actually had more energy curtailed than they managed to export. So this is a major problem. This is affecting the financial viability of these projects. Company that is based in Orkney is called EMEC. They are a tidal and wave testing centre. They have a tidal facility on the island of Ede, which is shown on the top there. They have a 4 megawatt export, and again, they are having to turn down customers because they cannot physically take their customers' energy and export it to the grid. Now, this is clearly not desirable. So last year, they purchased a 0.5 megawatt electrolyser off us to absorb their energy. Having a 0.5 megawatt electrolyser is one thing, that solves your curtailment problem. Your next problem is what do you actually do with the hydrogen? So to solve this problem, the Surf and Turf project was created. ITM down the bottom there, we're one of the partners. This involved taking the hydrogen, putting it in a tube trailer, transporting it by both road and sea to the island of Mainland, where there was a 75 kilowatt fuel cell, which is providing heat and power to a harbour and marina, and 3 ferries which dock there overnight. So it's cold ironing the ferries. The other aspect of the project is preparing for hydrogen shipping. This is something that a lot of people are talking about. However, there is a bureaucratic hurdle that you can't actually have a hydrogen ship unless the crews have been trained in the use of hydrogen, and there is nowhere that they can get trained because there are no hydrogen ships. So we have overcome this problem by having a training program for ships' crews as being part of the project. Surf and turf then got amalgamated into the main focus of my talk, which is the Big Hit project. So this is a FCHJU funded program. This is a 10.4 million euro program in total. There are 12 partners from all around the EU from, I believe it's 7 states of the EU. The theory behind it is fairly simple. We are enveloping everything that is going on as surf and turf. So we have the tidal turbines, we have a local community wind turbine that is heavily curtailed. That is putting its power into the 0.5 megawatt electrolyser. We have 0.5 ton of hydrogen storage. We have the 3 tube trailers from surf and turf. We have an additional 2 tube trailers, which are now part of Big Hit. So we are replicating everything that is on ED on the island of Shappensea. So we now include an extra 1 megawatt of electrolysis, some additional storage, some additional tube trailers. We have a hydrogen refueling station. We have 10 fuel cell vans, Symbio vans, that are operated by the local council. And in addition to that, we are providing heating for 2 local schools, little primary schools on the islands of Edy and Shappensea. So this is a big, fully integrated project. So we are taking curtailed energy, energy that would otherwise be lost, and we are bringing local benefit to the community through reduced heating bills, reduced transport bills. Because it is all curtailed energy, this is low-cost hydrogen we're producing. Because all of the renewable sources we're dealing with, both tidal and wind, are paid tariffs from the government, the operators of this equipment are quite happy for us to have free electricity, because we get free electricity, they get their tariffs from the government. So the result is very low-cost carbon, very low-cost hydrogen, I should say. As far as we're aware, this is the biggest concentration of hydrogen equipment in the EU that is operating at the moment. The project is a 5-year project. We are at the stage at the moment where we are building equipment, we are seeking planning permission, and we hope to have everything on the ground and operational by September, which is when we have a grand opening and the local Scottish minister will be coming along and cutting the ribbon. One of the key benefits of Big Hit is we are creating an integrated hydrogen system. We have multiple sites of generation, we have multiple sites of use of hydrogen. This is useful because if there is a mechanical failure of some sort, either in the generation or usage, we can provide cover. We also have a lot of storage. There is 2 tons of storage. Linked into this, we have a commercially operated company called Orkney Hydrogen Trading, whose purpose it is to buy hydrogen from the generators and sell it to the end users, and deal with all the issues of transportation, ferries, trying to get the right tube trailers at the right location at the right time. And this is operated commercially. The benefit of this is that we can bolt on additional projects onto Big Hit. So if somebody approaches us and says, I'd like to put an electrolyser onto a wind turbine, we can do that. They don't need to worry about finding an end use. We can find that end use for them. Equally, if somebody wants to put a fuel cell down, this can be done. You don't need to worry about where you're going to get your green electricity from, where you're going to get your electrolyser, how you're going to transport it from A to B. This is all covered. Now, this is quite a unique situation. I don't think this is repeated anywhere else as well. But it allows bolt-on projects. So, for example, we have the Wind2 Agri-Energy project. This is a feasibility study. This is actually looking at taking the curtailed energy, reacting the hydrogen with nitrogen captured from air and producing ammonia. From there, you can create urea. And this is an agricultural community, so the ability to create urea, a fertilizer, without importing it from the mainland. This is of great benefit. So we've had a look at that. The alternative is you can take hydrogen made purely from wind and water, react it with carbon dioxide captured from air, and you can produce synthetic diesel. Again, this is something in a remote community, the ability to import diesel, well, rather than import diesel, created on site is something that is extremely useful. So we've had a feasibility study looking at that. We have an additional project which is looking at expanding the hydrogen shipping aspect, and ITM is that are designing a refueling station purely for ships, and hopefully the idea being that it'll turn Orkney into a hub of hydrogen shipping in the future. Two more projects we're looking at is a project called Hyde. This was submitted to the FCHJU last week, and this is looking at bolting on 2 additional fuel cells on the island of Orkney, so the island of Shappensea, I should say. And the last one is High Capacity. This is a UK government-funded project where we're looking at a very innovative electrolyser with some quite interesting specifications, which we're looking at putting on Shappensea as a demonstration project. And I think that's me done. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kris, for this presentation. I'm completely blown away. There are so many great new ideas. We have here, are there any questions from the audience right now? No? Everything clear? Great. I was wondering, are you, when will the project be finished? I mean, it's a 5-year project?
It is a 5-year project, and the plan is that everything will be up and running in September.
Okay, and then it's okay.
September this year, yeah.
And are you already looking for new projects going in the same direction with other islands?
Indeed, yes. At present, because we have this ecosystem and it's easy to expand on it, we are looking at expanding here. But we would love to replicate what we're doing elsewhere. There are other Scottish islands that are in a very similar situation. The Western Isles off the west coast of Scotland, for example. But equally, this can be repeated elsewhere. We are working with the island of Malta in the Mediterranean. Again, they have very similar situations. They are interested and they are close followers of the project. But this could be repeated in the Faroe Islands, the islands of Norway, Denmark. So, yeah, we are working with the European Small Islands Federation, the Scottish Islands Federation, Confederation of Prohibitable Marine Regions. These are all remote areas where they have a lot of renewable and very poor electrical grid connections. So these are all areas that could potentially benefit from replication of this project.
What I really like is the collaboration. As you can see, there are a lot of different companies involved. I really like this aspect of the project. Thank you very much for your time, Kris Hyde.
No problem, thank you.
The next presentation will continue in about 5 minutes regarding analyzing special effects in automotive size fuel cells by the Fraunhofer Institute for Solar Energy Systems. Please stay with us, have a coffee, have some refreshments. If you missed the last presentations, there is live streaming. You can watch them all online later on. Thank you very much and see you in a few minutes.